So yesterday we have completed till here. We have implemented flights slash URI parameter 3. So right click on this project we created yesterday, training for American Web Services. In the Anypoint platform, click on this configure credentials button. Do you see this option? And then click on add. In the add, enter the login details which you have created during registering for your Anypoint platform. And then sign in. Were you all able to sign in and get your name here?
One moment. Not able to get properties part.
Not properties. You go right click, go to Anypoint platform,
Okay.
configure credentials.
Can you show that again, Joe? Sorry.
If you click on this project, then
Okay.
you have to right click
Mm-hmm.
in the Anypoint platform.
Okay.
Down here, configure credentials.
Okay.
And then here it will be empty. So click on add.
Okay. One moment. Yeah, done.
Done, right?
Mm.
Sahiti? Okay. So this is how you link your Anypoint Studio to your Anypoint Platforms account. So now account is registered. Now the studio understands that you are trying to, whenever you're trying to call something on the platform for downloading connectors or for downloading any of the dependencies, it will know where to get from. If not, it doesn't know which Anypoint platform account to use. So apply and close. After that, you again right click, but now you'll go to manage dependencies mod here button. In the manage dependencies, you go and select manage modules. And in the top, there is a green plus button. So you click that and you will get three options. Right now we'll go for from Exchange. So if you see here, there is a featured modules and from Maven. From Maven is different. When you link up with Maven, you can get from Maven, and Maven will be again connected to Git resource. I mean, there is a file management system for your code repository. And then you can get from the code repository, but for now we'll go for from Exchange is the mostly used. We won't be using other two. When you click from Exchange, now on the top in the username, you should find your Anypoint platform username automatically coming up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll type the API or American. So here we got American Flights API, right? Now you will select the American flight, not the training American flights. Select the American Flights API. Kanil Saiti, if you have already created that RAML, then you will find this. If not, you won't find this. I think you have not created, right?
Yes, we haven't created.
Okay. So select this RAML. What is this RAML? Can you, any of you know? Can you tell me? What is that we are searching and adding here?
The RESTful API which we designed in the platform online. Yeah.
Correct. So if I go back here into my design center in the Anypoint platform, this what we designed in the design center, right? American Flights API that we published over to the Exchange. So if I go to Exchange, this American Flights API. This one we are trying to import into our Anypoint Studio to use this design. So there is flights get method, flights post method, and get flights by ID, and also a delete method. All these four. We are trying to import this design center into our Anypoint platform. So add and select the latest version.
Joe, as I messed up with the thing the other day, I can't see the one we designed. Can I go with the training instead?
No, no. What happened to your ones?
I messed it up and I deleted it. I thought to do it again, but I didn't.
Okay, okay. In that case, right, share me your screen. I'll send you the code. And Kanil and Saiti, this is nice opportunity for you to quickly do this very quickly in a short, like a crash course. Okay, Varun, are you okay to do that?
Yeah, I will share my screen. One moment.
Okay.
You should enable sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it.
Yes.
Open your Anypoint Design Center.
Okay. Yeah, I deleted it. So we can't. Let me sign in. Okay.
Saiti, open your Design Center and be ready.
Yes.
Create new
Mm-hmm.
API specification
Okay.
and name it as American Flights API.
Okay.
Uppercase, yeah, perfect. And then create API.
Okay. Root
Here
file.
in the left side you have that dependencies button, right? Yeah, click on that, add, click on the plus mark. Yes, and add and type training dash American. Yeah, select the
Second.
data type and the example both. Add dependencies. Okay, I'll send you guys a file in the chat. You try to open that file. Okay.
Oh,
Saiti, are you following?
Yes, yes.
Good. Yeah, I sent a file in the chat. Can you download and open that file?
okay. Yeah.
Copy this entire thing and paste it in the design center. Remove the top two also. Everything. Remove everything and paste.
Mhm. I can't see the paste. Or yeah, done.
We
Um,
need to copy the whole thing
whole thing. Yeah.
and paste it where?
In the main file, go to americanflights.raml. So if you click that files button again, Varun, can you click the files button again? Not the depend. Yeah. In the files, this American Flights API. Yeah, this one, and then paste it in this, and then save it. So here you see two errors.
Yeah, we need to create new file and show the path from our snippets folder
Yeah.
or in both the
So in,
input and output.
yes. In the examples, create before that, create a new folder on the top
Mm.
folder, and then name it as examples. Now import from your local system, from your students resource folder.
Can
Yes,
you once repeat it? Where we need to create a folder?
on the files.
Yeah, you can see files over here on top of dependencies, and you should press the plus button option.
Okay.
And then you can see new folder,
Okay.
and then you need to type the name in the dialog box. It will show the, yeah, you should give the name examples and select all.
Exam.
Yeah.
Once you create examples, click on the plus button inside the examples, and then new file.
Okay.
And hold on. Sorry, go back, click cancel.
Mhm.
Click on the three dots there, and there you will see import. Yeah, click on import and choose the file. Point out to your students yeah, resources, and then yeah, here you have to get the RAML. Where is that? Down, American Flights example RAML, and then
Can you repeat it again? Choose file.
um
Should I cancel it and do it again?
yeah, go ahead. Just choose a file, right?
Yeah, you right beside the examples, you can find three dots, and then you can select import option and leave the file or zip like that, and then again choose file, go to your downloads, find the .raml file
Inside the examples folder.
and open.
Open, and then import. Now click on the
Only
three dots beside the American Flights example.raml, and then select duplicate.
okay.
And here name should be remove that one dash. Yeah, let it be American Flights example, but American Flight, after the flight, um, type uppercase N, no ID. O is the small, yeah. ID is small, uppercase again. ID.
No.
Yeah, example.raml and duplicate. Here, just remove the ID of the first.
Hello.
Yeah, number 3.
Like uh, when I am clicking on choose file, I haven't find the example folder.
Why have you downloaded or not? The students snippets for folder.
Student snippets like today.
No, we downloaded in the very first class in the part 1, setting up our,
Okay,
yeah, that
that we
folder.
haven't.
Do you have your snippet folder file or not in your local system?
Yeah, let me check.
In that file, there are again 2 folders below that from the downloads.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay, thank you. And then go ahead and publish this to Exchange.
Same version, right?
Yes, publish to Exchange.
Error publishing an asset already exists with the version and publish lifecycle state.
Hmm. Okay, click on cancel.
Okay.
On the top where it says title, right? Just put a number two beside that. Or no, not here. Go back to the design center. Kanil, you don't have to do the steps. You just publish.
Okay. Design center.
And then
Right.
select that. On the top, you see the edit button, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, click on that. And put number two beside this, yeah. And save.
Rename.
Rename, yeah. Now go inside and publish. Kanil, did you publish?
So just a minute. Actually, I got some error.
Same error. An asset already exists.
Okay, cancel. And on the top also you put number two on the top. Title.
Here.
Yeah, beside that.
Okay.
Try to publish now. And change the version number to 1.0.2.
Already came as 2.
Yeah, publish to Exchange. What error are you getting, Kanil?
Actually, the mistake we did is we need to import file in examples, right?
Yeah.
So the mistake we did is we had it in exchange modules, I guess.
All right. Thank you. Now you go to your Anypoint Studio and try to find this whatever you published and import.
Let me share again.
Yeah, click on the plus. American flight.
The first one.
See the
One.
full name. It has to be two after the name. See, try to drag the name column so that we can see some end of the name.
I can't drag it.
Okay, click on add.
One moment. Here, you mean?
Yeah, add. Then you might see. Okay, number two is there. That 1.0.2. Okay, and then finish.
Apply and close.
Yes.
Yeah.
So on the right side, sorry, left side in the package explorer, you see there will be American flights. Yes, perfect.
Okay.
So that has been imported. That's a RAML file.
Okay.
And
Mule plug.
if you just click on the drop down there, you will see internal all the file details. If you click that arrow beside, yeah, beside that, you see that, yeah, all the metadata.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Yes.
Okay, now we imported the RAML to our Anypoint platform. So we just imported, we didn't even link it yet. So we have few more steps to do. Now we'll go here and then right click. Actually, this has to generate certain files. Okay, this latest version has some issues with this, so hold on. I'll right click here. Download RAML from Design Center, and then I'll type American Flights API and click OK and click yes. Okay, so that is a old method of importing which is there in the documentation, so don't worry about that. Now let's perform the new way. Right click again on your training this API, and then go to your uh, Anypoint platform, and then download RAML from Design Center. You will see one option. Click that.
Yes.
And then select that American Flights API, and then click OK, and you'll get one more option, and select yes. So you're saying I want this design, I want to generate a API based on that RAML. Once you select yes, then there will be a new file created here in the source main resources, a new mule file, new XML. See,
Yes.
you all got it, right? So this is how exactly we'll be doing in the project once we design in the Design Center. The last steps we just did in the Anypoint Platform Design Center. Once we define, we'll come here, create a new project, and then import that RAML file, and that RAML file itself generated all these flows. So forget about what we have done all this yesterday. These are all manual steps, but here it has generated automatically. So this API is created automatically, but it doesn't have any logic. It's just like a skeleton, a wrapper around the skeleton to provide minimum service. Okay, so now we have the listener and a API kit router. What is a router? So as I said, there are multiple flows here. One, if you see examine each flow, so I'll full screen this. If you double click on that file, the full screen will come. So here, let's examine each flow. Okay, the first one is a long one till here, right? First one has so many on error handling. So if I minimize on error handling, how many total number of flows I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flows, right? Total. Do you all see 6 flows? If you want to minimize, click on the error handling here. It will minimize the error handling part. Then you can see all of the flows.
How to minimize it? Joe, again, show me, please.
So this is long, right? The first flow in the error
Yeah.
handling, there is
Okay.
a red button. So if you minimize, the error handling will become small. You can also minimize a flow. There is a blue button here. If you click that, the flows will get minimized. So how many flows are there right now? Can you all tell me in your systems, not in my system?
6.
Kanil Saiti, do you also see 6?
It's not same in my PC, but I got the flows. Whenever I am trying to click on the minimize thing, it's opening some other box at the right side. But
Yeah,
I got everything, the
yeah,
flow, API kit, not for.
that is okay. If it opens something else, it's okay. But you must see 6, right? Are you seeing them?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So the first one is the listener. This is where the request comes in. After that, there is a API kit router. Router is a place where it will decide. So these are all different flows. So it will say where the request has to be sent which flow has to be selected among all this router will decide. Okay, whenever in the interview or in the exam, if they ask what does API kit router does, it routes the request to the right flow. Remember this, there are multiple flows, and who decides where to go? API kit router. So if you examine, this is the first flow, and in the first flow there are multiple error handling, as I discussed, as we saw in the part 2. On error propagate, all different on error propagates. On error propagate means what? If any of you remember, did you remember what is on error propagate is?
Continuous will continue, but propagate will address it, I guess.
Perfect. Yeah, propagate will stop. So whenever a error occurs in our API, it will by default come here, and then it will execute this data view. This data view says, hey, this is a bad request. There are many different on error propagates, because in each on error propagate there is a different condition. Here it says bad request, here it says not found, right? Here it says method not allowed. These are all for the different error codes. If 404 comes, if 500 comes, if 401 comes, what are all error codes we have to mention, that is mentioned here, which is auto generated by MuleSoft, but you just have to idea on what is happening here. So if you go to error status, it says 501. In the data view, you can create variables, and also you can create the payload. So on the small little arrow here, you'll see the hidden variables and the payload. In the variable, there is a HTTP status, it says 501. So this message at the bottom for the one here, not implemented, is for the error code 501. So whenever a request comes in a way that it got error, and then that matches not implemented keyword here, then it will give a 501 error code and this message. And same with the above one. So it says unsupported media type, right? API kit. So again, you can click on the data view, you can click on this little box on error propagate. If you click on the on error propagate box, then you will see the type of the error we got. So whenever error type matches this error type here, on unsupported media type or not implemented, then immediately this particular on error propagate will get selected. There are multiple on error propagates. Which on error propagate to select? How does it know? So it will match this type, and then once it's matched, then it will go inside and execute this data view. This data view, it will give a message, and also it will give a status code to the as a response. Any questions here?
No.
No.
Okay, and this flow is complete, right? You understand every part of this flow, right? Basically what is happening, listener is listening, router is routing, if error comes, the error handling is here. These are all the 3 steps performed by this first flow. Now we are minimizing it and going to the second flow. The second flow, it says, what does it say? Console, right? Console in the sense like when a request comes in, and API Kit console will basically display that request configuration in this console here below in the logs. That is what it does, and you don't have to worry about the console part much. No modifications needed here. In very few scenarios you will have to deal with this, otherwise you don't touch that. At the bottom now you see the different flows which is not related to the configuration, but these are the flows which got generated based on our RAML file. So we have flights, which is a post method, flights which is a get method, and get method for the flights with ID and without ID. So there are 4 flows. Why there are 4 flows here?
Each for everything, for get by ID.
Post.
Yes, If you see this RAML, which we imported for get one, post one, get one, each,
ID delete.
yeah, ID and delete. For each of this, one flow, particular flow has been created, right? And then expand all. So just like this we have did here, right? Yesterday we have created each listener, and then in the listener we have created individual path. But here this listener will have just the base path. So if you see, yesterday in all the services we created, the common name is flights. So in this, flights is common. In this also, flights is common by ID, just that there is ID after that, but flights is the common one, right? So in the same way, this API kit router will be listening for the request which has this common path called API slash whatever comes in, it will route to this. So here again in the flows you will see first the method name delete, and where the path has to be flight slash ID, and then what configuration it has to refer to. This is the flow name, this particular flow name. So this is how it will be. And without creating anything, there is already data views which are already defined. These are all based, these data views are based on whatever we have mentioned in the RAML. We have defined some dummy data right here, output, input, remember?
Yeah.
So flights deleted, not really. Flights added, not really. This one, all this has to be um, mentioned in the in a form. So that form is data view here. So it automatically puts some data view here and mention that code. So can we test this now? So we can test. We go back and then we examined all of this. In the flights ID, get flights ID, double click. So we are exactly at this place which is referring to. Now I double click on this transform message, it will enlarge, expand. If you double click again, it will minimize. So this is how you navigate through this IDE. In the listener configuration here, just like yesterday we have created a default listener configuration, right? Same to that, it also has the same port 8081 and the same local host, that is 0.0.0.0, and just that it has a time readout time. Readout time means how many seconds after getting the request should the request be waiting for the response. So it says 30 milliseconds, 30,000 milliseconds, which means around 3 seconds, I think. I think 30 seconds. Yeah, it will wait for 30 seconds and then it will terminate the request if no response is coming from this API. That is the read timeout. So it's same to the what we have created yesterday. And okay, and delete other ship listeners. Okay, now we'll be using, now we got the basic structure here, but in the yesterday's examples what we have created, we have created the same thing, but we have implemented the logic. So logic is here, structure is here basically. So we want to combine these both. We want to combine the logic and the structure, right? So if you select and drag and drop, you can see side by side views also. Say on the left side, I have the one which is auto generated from the RAML. On the left side, we have flows which we designed yesterday. Make sense or no? Now we are trying to map this both. So whenever flight slash ID comes, where should it go? On the
Get ID.
get flights by ID, correct. So I can pull this down. I can see all flows. how do we do that? How do we flow refer the other flow, right? Now we'll see. Before we go that, and let's delete. So here we have all the listeners, right? Let's delete the listeners here. So there is one listener for get flight by ID. Right click the HTTP listener in the get flights and select delete. For get flights we are deleting. So for the first one you all can go and delete. So if you haven't implemented these, it will be in the part 3 and part 4, and then refer to that, you will get this structures. But if you want to do it now, let me see. Sahiti and Kanil doesn't have it, right?
Yeah, yesterday we haven't did like this one you did yesterday.
Hold on. So I'll send you a file now. Just copy and paste in your. I'll guide you how to do that. Can one of you share your screen? I'll guide you. There is a file I sent you in the chat. Download that file and copy that code.
Yeah, I downloaded the file.
Okay,
Should
share
I
it
share the screen?
and copy the code in that file.
Yeah, just
Actually, the training, whatever we are doing, it's only for 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. But because of your lag, it's going around 2.5 hours. If you have followed every step by step, we'd be in a better place. More faster training would happen.
So sorry about it, Joe. From next class, we'll see that we are all in the same path. Yeah. And also, we appreciate your patience for saying everything so clearly.
No problem. Yeah, I want you to understand. So,
Thank you so much.
Can you share your screen?
yeah, just now I downloaded and copied the code.
Okay. Go to your Anypoint platform. Sorry, Studio. Yeah, and go to that configuration XML below your mouse. There is one button. No, down. Yes.
Yeah, configuration.
Select everything and remove and paste.
Should I paste it here?
Yeah.
Like this one.
Yeah. Save.
Save.
Save and go to message flow. Again, the tab beside the configuration. Yeah, message flow. Now you will see some errors. That's okay. Now go to your palette, Mule palette on the left side, and click search in palette, left side. Sorry, right side.
Right side mule palette.
Here,
Yeah.
database, type database.
Database.
Go down and select the select one in the database. Scroll down. Yeah, select.
Select one.
Yeah, pull and drop beside the unknown. There is one unknown, right? Second connector.
Here.
Yeah.
Select the transform.
Yeah. Put there.
Just a minute.
Drop.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now you remove one. Two are there, right? Now you see the database icon. Can you go on the top? Do you see the on the top also? Same issue, right? Yes. Now select the select database, and in the down you'll see the properties. So
Yeah.
click on the edit button beside the connection configuration.
The plus one.
Edit beside plus.
Okay.
Here on, yeah, perfect. So click on the configure. So you're getting error there, right? Yes, configure.
Mm.
Add Maven dependency, third option, and then install. Cancel. Um, Finish. Click on finish. Okay, perfect. Test connection. Click on test connection. So if you notice, this is how you share the files. You can just copy the entire code and send it over and they can implement. Only the modules and dependencies have to be reinstalled. Yeah, it's all right. Click on close. And okay. And then save. Save will be on the top left. Beside the, yeah, that one. Now you see the database configuration also populated. Now go back to message flow. Yes, and see any errors. Go down.
There are no errors.
Okay, great. Now you are at the same place where we were yesterday. Okay, now you can stop sharing. Let me resume back. That's it. Now we are all on the same page. And then you can also delete this other two also. So now there are no listeners for the project which we have done yesterday. So they are all zombies now. They are all orphans. No listener is there, right? They're all orphans because no one is calling them and they are just lying here, which are there is no reference for them. Okay. Now we will be using them into our flows that we have created here. We'll be calling them. How to call them is we'll see in this particular walkthrough. So here we'll start by opening up the, and then before we go there, we have to rename the American Flights API.xml in the package explorer, and then interface.xml. So now we'll be going and rename American Flights API. So American Flights API, you rename as interface.xml and click OK. Not the one, not the one which you deleted the listener, the one which we got from the RAML, which got auto generated. There we are trying to rename to interface. And then for the other one, we'll implement, we'll change the name to implementation.xml. Why is this implementation.xml? Why is the other one interface.xml? Can anybody explain, or if you understand only? Why is this interface.xml? Why is this implementation.xml? Why we are changing this naming conversion? What does it mean? No
The
guess?
implementation we are considering it as a main part. So the other thing we are using as an interface for that.
Yes, Interface means which is an interface between our implementation and the calling requester, whoever is calling this API. Implementation is a place where we implement our business logic. This is our business part. We are doing some transformations. We have seen yesterday, right? We are doing all the transformation and into JSON. This is all implementation. We are setting some payload. So that's why we have changed the naming conventions from interface and implementation. Once we have them, then now we'll go to our interface.xml, and here at the bottom we have all the flow references. So first we'll start with this flight/id delete one. So let's see if we have a delete here. Right now it's a post get flights, so delete is not there. Ignore delete. Get flights. So here remove the data view and then select flow reference. There is flow reference on in the palette. Drag and drop the flow reference. In the flow reference, you
Can
select.
you start from the renaming again? After renaming, what should we do?
Now we are trying to call the implementation in the reference file.
Okay.
In the interface file. So interface, go to get/flights, flow name get/flights,
Okay.
and
In
then yeah, and then delete the
interface.
transform message. Delete the transform message and pull and drop the flow reference.
In the interface, get flights by ID or get flights?
Get flights, just flights, get flights.
Oh. And there, what we should do?
Pull the flow reference and drop it here.
From the palette?
Yeah. So flow reference is a component or a connector.
Do we need to? So I need to delete transform message and
Delete.
I need to drag from Mule palette, right?
Correct. And once you have the flow reference, go to the properties down for the flow reference. Then you will see there is an error in the flow name, right? So it's asking which flow should I refer to. There we'll say, hey, we want to call get flights from this implementation file. So I'll come to this get flights, copy this name from get flights, go to interface and paste it here. And there will be a green check mark. There are no errors once. So the reference is successful. And save.
Okay, one moment.
You can also put them side by side, so to avoid confusion. I am doing the same thing for ID now. Get flights by ID. I'll pull and drop the flow reference.
By deleting the transform again?
Yeah, now we don't need those auto generated. We'll be referring to the ones which we have here. And delete the transform messages. And now post also I'm deleting, and then flow reference to the post, and then set payload, flow reference post flight, and then save it. So you will be mapping these 3 flows in the implementation to the 3 flows in the flow reference. But delete we haven't implemented, so we are still letting it do the same thing which came by default. So we have a transform message which says flight deleted, but not really. Once you have done this step, let me know. I'm running this project and testing now. Call the flow reference for get flights to get flights by id to get flights by id, post flights to post flights. Simple. And we are leaving delete flights as it is. Are you able to deploy? Are you able to make changes?
For the post flow name, what we should give for the flow name?
Post flight.
Oh,
Now once you have that, save it and deploy. Now you will see a new option, API console. Saiti, Kanil, are you able to see?
Yeah.
Deployed?
No. Actually, what I did, I just I did a mistake by changing the name under the XML section. Like about to the interface, I just kept implementation.xml.
Oh, did you change back? Change back interface. Interface is the one, the longest file which has so many flows. That is the interface.xml.
Yeah, I just by looking at the screen, I thought to change that. So I just changed the name. Just a minute.
and also, Joe, can you please show the post flight in the implementation one's properties?
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, once I want to have a look at it, the path. Yeah.
So in the post flights, you can select this name, copy, and go to your post flights flow reference and paste it here.
Okay.
Or you can click on this drop down and select post flight.
Okay. If the console option is like I can't see the console option, where can I get it back? I think it got minimized.
It will be here beside the.
Okay.
So you deployed and got the console, API console.
Oh, no. One moment.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, what I did it in training for American WS under section flows, I said like I just renamed the name implementation.xml
Mm-hmm.
about to interface.xml.
Mm-hmm.
So all the things got deleted. Can you just check? Can I share my screen?
Okay.
Yeah, here it is. These I just changed actually. Actually, I got here one error X mark. Yeah.
Okay. Now, uh, this all looks good, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Now, post flight, this has to be deleted, and then flow reference to
No,
what?
post post flight.
Get flight by ID, flow reference to
Get flight.
this one, right?
Yeah,
What is this? American flight.
router.
Where did you get this? American flights API flow. I think you just created this. Varun, did you get that console? Did you deploy?
Application start. It says application started, but yeah, no errors. Application started.
You didn't get any console window.
No.
Okay. In the windows on the top, you go into the windows and then click show view and select
I got. You mean you're talking about our regular console?
no, API kit console.
No, no.
Type API kit console and select open.
Can you show that again from view?
View, show view.
Okay.
In the search, type API kit KIT.
I don't find view option. So like
Windows window.
yeah, window show view, and then
Show view and select API type API kit.
show view. I should if I select show view, I'm getting a set of options. From there, I should select.
Yeah, in that search box, type API kit. So here this Kanil and Saiti got your API kit console here, right? So if you open console, it will open the same thing and you can test your APIs here. And this will be all dynamic. Send. You got a response. Okay. And then I'll share back my screen. So Varun, waiting on you. Tell me if you
Yeah,
get
I got it. I got it.
once you click that open console button.
Yeah, I got a window, and where same we can see the
Yes.
marking.
Yeah, same. You can see like just like you have seen for the mocking, here also you can test this literally to your local APIs. So even you can test it there. Normally, that's where not the developers will test. It's just for business purposes. You don't use that regularly, but you can come back to your Anypoint. Sorry, this advanced REST client
Right.
and click test this connections. So these connections will fail now, because whenever such thing fails and it says 404, that is no listener for this endpoint. Because this endpoint, it says clearly here flight/1 is not responding. Why? Because with whenever new listener came in, it came in with API slash star. So I'll copy this and then come here, and after 8081 I'll paste it, and now I'll test it again. Now I got the response. If I say 1, I got it for 1, and if I say 3, I should get for 3, just to make sure it is all dynamic, not pulling it from the mock data, right? Mock data will always give you the same response no matter how what you hit with.
Okay.
And then we'll test for the same thing for post method. So post method, what should I do here? /API, because the new listener has this endpoint, and then send. Flights added, but not really, right? So
Yeah.
we successfully implemented. Make sense? Any questions?
No, Joe.
Kanil, Sahiti?
No, all good.
Understood, right? What we did here?
Yeah.
We,
Yes.
yeah, we implemented something, the logic, and then we downloaded the RAML file from the design center and linked them using the flow reference buttons here.
Yeah.
So flow reference, you can, what is flow reference used for? It used to call the other flows in the same project. And the flow names should be based on the what the listener does. So here it says post flights. So this is referring to
Yeah.
flow.
Post get.
So the best practice, good practice is, so for all of this, you will see the flow reference, right? Name. So you should basically copy this flow name and put it into the display name, so that the display name and flow name are same. So in that way, you won't get confused where it's calling. So now it says post
Yeah.
flight. So this is a coding good practices. So people, after you develop certain code, people, it will go to test review. In the review place, they will say, hey, these are all the suggestions. Are you a beginner or an intermediate developer? They'll figure it out just by this coding standards. So make sure you rename everything. So whenever you look at this code, you have to understand. Basically, by looking at it, you have to understand. So people will come here for code review. They'll say, okay, get flights. Where is it going? Get flights. Okay, good. And here also, but delete flight, what is it doing? Transform message. It doesn't say anything, it just says transforming a message. But if you go inside, you will see attributes URI parameters dot id. So what we are doing here, we are trying to get the id from the URI parameter. So I'll rename this and say get id, so that just by looking at it, I will know I am grabbing id from the request. And what is this transform message is doing? It says message flight deleted not successfully. So if you are a developer, what will you rename this as to be meaningful? Anybody?
Delete flight.
Delete flights, I came to know already. There is delete flight here.
So transform type.
I'll say success message,
Okay.
because I'm giving a message here, right? It's a success response. So success response, success message, or something like that. In this way, you'll show here also. You have to rename. So this, for database, here it is a select. I know it is a select, but what are we selecting for? So we can say call American. So rename and say select American flight. So select you, if you see here, the what method we are performing, it's already blurred out. The grayed out option is coming. So we don't have to put select again. So just say call American database, right?
Yeah.
This is how you have to give meaningful names. Here also I'll say call American DB by ID. And what is this transform message? This is this is what we are doing, a lot of mapping here, right? So here we'll say rename and then mapping. And what is this doing? This is also mapping, rename, mapping. And what is this set payload is doing? This is doing a response, right? So what will you rename this as?
Flight added.
Flight added,
Flight response.
Yes.
success response. We don't need to know what response we are giving. We are saying what it is doing. This is giving a success response, this is doing mapping, this is doing mapping, this is calling database. Are you getting that idea? What it's doing, it has to show that, not the actual code.
Okay.
So now look at this. If anybody comes in, they'll see, oh, listener, and then routing comes to this delete get post, and then get ID. Okay, this is get flights. Okay, so get flight flow reference. So flow reference. So you can, to which flow it's going. Also, you can right click here and click on go to referred flow. So it will directly take you to the flow it's calling. So this one is highlighted on the top, so that flow is calling this flow here. These are all the coding navigations which you will be doing day to day in your job. Got it?
Yeah.
So go back to your snippets folder and then copy the put method here. Now what we are trying to do is, tomorrow this API is going to production and everybody are using, but suddenly I got a new requirement, like flights get is good, post is good, ID get and delete is good, but the business would like to add put method for the ID. For the ID they want to get and delete is there. Right now we have to put a put method. So to put a put method, can anybody say the steps? Where do I start from initially?
Directly go to the bottom of the page.
Okay, you don't see this. Okay, don't say. Now tell me, where do you go for changing the adding a new functionality to the API? Where do I add
We'll add in interface.
interface? Okay, so here I'll come and then add what?
New listener.
But listener I already have here.
Okay, directly over. No.
So here they are already automatically
Yeah,
generated.
3.
So here get.
Already there is get post.
Yeah. Now I want to put a put method called put.
So duplicate any one of that and change advanced and put allow methods to put and then configure it that way.
Yeah, you can do it that way, but it's not recommended, because if you do it that way, see in the API console, if you look deeper into this this router, if I click into this edit configuration, this is pointing out to the RAML which we imported.
Okay.
So based on the RAML only, it's saying which flow it has to going, it will be routing to. So to add a put method, where do I go now?
Router configuration plus.
So yeah, I will. So router is routing, taking it from the RAML. So now tell me, where should I make the change?
Plus.
Design center
Mm,
specification.
In the design center. That's correct.
mm.
So I go to design center and go to my file again. So every change you make to API, make sure it comes from the design phase. Now your new resource is being added. So I come here, I just copied the put method, right? And then paste it here. Now put method is here. Once the put method is here, I will again go and publish this, right? This is a new change. So I'll publish here as a next version. What? And not allowed. Error published to exchange not allowed. Why? Okay, cancel. Are you all able to follow me still here? Put a
Yeah,
pen.
yeah.
Yeah. So go to your design centers and then put this, paste this put method here. Once you put the method, please test it here only, like in the Anypoint Design Center. Go to, as you see the summary, go to put and then try it, and then give a id. You are putting something, right? So you are putting this kind of data and then send, and you have to get a success response. Flight updated, but not really should be the response.
Yeah, done.
Done. Okay. Kanil. And also I got this message published to exchange.
Yeah, we are just adding the put code in data, like the design center.
Okay.
So again, we need to change the dependency also.
Just update it, not change. So
Okay.
before we do that, once we just to, this is all the steps to be followed for sure. Like once you update the RAML, you have to tell business that you updated, right? So to do that, you have to go again to your uh, Anypoint exchange, and in the exchange we added some documentation in the last class. So here so far people think only these operations are being performed. So we come here and say, hey, we also added a new version which is called update. So we put here update a flight and then save and publish. Now we are completely done with the designing part. Once you update the documentation, that is the practice you have to be followed. If not, you will lose the track on where what you updated, what is there. And in the summary you will also say put method. So please do this step. Go to the home page and update a flight operation is also supported.
Done.
Kanil.
Yeah, I just published the put in design center. Just now I did it, like publish it to exchange.
Go to exchange and add the documentation for it. I think you have not done this step, right? So
Yeah,
I'll send you this text in the chat. This paste it in the documentation part. In the home button on the left side, you see the edit documentation. Edit it and paste this.
just a minute.
Actually, not that. Paste this one.
Can you send it again in chat?
Yeah, I sent.
The American Flights API. Can you resend it once again, sir?
Okay.
Okay.
So once you have updated the documentation, save it, publish it, come back to your studio. Here again, we'll select the, we'll go to this global elements, okay?
In the interface, right?
Don't worry. Don't worry about these two files. Just
I just I just copied it from chat. Where I need to paste it, like add it actually in
add it
message flow.
in the home
So
inside the Exchange
American flights. Yeah,
API.
just a minute.
Yeah, you see this message there.
Yeah,
Or
I am
don't
seeing.
have edit button there.
No, I don't have it written.
Okay, share me your screen. Did you log in? Okay. You're opening it in the portal. So portal is different. You have to right click here, open link in new tab. This is the Exchange. This is portal. Don't go here. So here you click this. Here in the home page, edit documentation, paste, publish. Done.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So now this is there. Now we are trying to consume that, right? Varun, so come here. Go back to your source main resources
Okay.
and right click. Go to just like you imported the RAML. Do you remember? Download RAML from Design Center. Click on go to Anypoint Platform and type and click this download RAML from Design Center. Again, select that American Flights API and click OK, and that will download the latest RAML. So in the API folder, you will see the new put method has been called. Automatically, it got imported without
Uh,
trying.
can you show that again, Joe? Like,
So
yeah, sources.
go to Anypoint Platform, download RAML from Design Center. This is the
Okay.
place where you download the RAML. We did it in the last step also. In the
Okay.
Anypoint Platform, download RAML from Design Center. And then select American Flights API and download.
It is showing the same previous version. We should select that one, right?
Previous version, yeah, whatever it's showing, it's just download that, the latest one. It's yours is 1.0.1 or 2. Mine is 2.
It is saying all the current files in the will
Yeah,
be
yeah,
replaced.
yes.
But okay.
Yes, yes. Let it get replaced. Now, if you go into your API folder and select this file, RAML, you will see the put method has been updated.
Where it is updated? Sorry.
In the API folder, inside the main source resources. Main source resources is the place where you will see all the files like log files, examples, API, RAMLs,
Oh,
resources. Everything will be in the main source main resources, just like your Java project. In the resources folder, there is an API package. In the API package, you will see this RAML file, and you will see the put method is been updated.
okay. One moment.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, very good. And now once you see that, you right click on this in the mule, generate flow from this local REST API. Select that button.
Okay.
So we are saying that we have the RAML here, generate the flows again for me. This flows, whatever is there here, right? In the interface, we want put here to be auto generated. That is the target we are trying to achieve. So we are saying a RAML, generate flows from the local REST API, then select this button, and that will automatically recreate your interface and put this new flow which has the put method automatically.
Yeah, got it.
That's how you update whenever there is a change.
Can you show that again, Joe? My windows are like I'm getting.
Yeah, once you have that API updated, that RAML updated on your local, right? Did you see that put method?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now right click on that file, Mule, go to Mule tab and click on generate flows from REST API.
Okay, one moment.
And that will recreate your interface.xml
Okay.
and add it put method automatically.
Okay.
Now once it's there, let's quickly run this and test.
Yeah, we can see where the API kit.
You can see, right? Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are deploying it on your local. So all of you deploy in your local. We'll quickly test this put method. So for doing the put method is just like post again. So I need a body for that. To again get the body and change the method to post, I don't want to do all those steps in the advanced REST client. I am fed up with all those steps. So I'll directly go to this open console button here, and that will open up my console in a browser. So I go to the browser and then paste that. Now I get the put method. I click that, and then here I'll just say some id as 2, and then the body is already there, and then send. Flights updated, but not really. I got the message. So we just tested our API also in few seconds. Got it?
Yes.
Were you all able to test and get this message?
Yeah.
Kanil?
After going to API console, I got this code, but where to test, I didn't got that.
So in the console, this window is there
Yeah,
on. Yeah, click on open console,
yeah,
and that will get this browser, right? Go to the put
yeah,
method. Try it button will be there. Try it and then send.
yeah.
Put method, put some ID, send.
Send. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that's it. Now we have done the building of APIs. We completed that. Now let's go and deploy this API to the server. So far, what all have we done? Can anyone say? We have designed and then
We
Building.
have designed in a design center, and then we imported into our local studio, and again we added put, made changes, and yeah.
And we tested in Exchange.
yes, very good. And also, if you remember, we are missing one step. It's called testing. So to test this unit testing, if you remember, I told you about munit. There is a tool which is used to test this, right? So to write unit testing for this application, uh, even the MuleSoft original training, if you pay and take the training, also they will not teach you. But in this session, I will cover you the unit testing also. How to generate a test case, right? So to generate a test case, I'll quickly go here. There will be a button called munit, and then I will select record test for this flow. That means you are already running an instance. Do you want to stop and launch the test recorder again? Yes. So this will basically, this is the beautiful way of generating the test cases automatically. This is the latest technology. You won't find in any other tool that currently available in the market. This is the fastest way to generate unit testing. What unit testing does is it will try to test whether our application is performing as required, as per the requirements. That means if the mapping is there right now, if I have extra field which is not mapped, and and how do I find if there is error in the data view? It's hard, right? So if you do this unit testing, you will be able to easily identify if there is a code, if the code is breaking somewhere in your application, if you are missing some exceptions, and if you are giving a wrong expression here and not giving a right response. All those can be get caught by developer itself. No need of tester here. Developer has to perform the unit testing. It's his job, a part of writing this code. So in the as a testing phase, unit testing, you have to implement this unit for all the flows that you have developed. So far we have this 3 flows and also 2 methods to be tested, put and also here delete. All this have to be tested. So to test them, we basically go here and then right click unit record test for this flow. That will build the application locally. Here again, you will not write single line of code. It's all automatic. I'll quickly give you a glimpse of what Munit is, and then I'll send you a video where you have to watch and see how the testing will be performed. Then you'll get idea, because that takes another 1 hour of session. Terminated. I think something is going wrong, but don't worry. I'll send you a video. Refer to that. For now, let's continue. Okay, but this is how you generate. You go here and record test for this flow, and then small window will pop up. There you will select, hey, I want to ignore. I want to mock this backend service, because in testing phase you will perform multiple tests, and in multiple tests you don't have to call this backend databases multiple times, because it's a cost related call. Every time you make a call to external services like database, web services, or any out of MuleSoft services, that is a cost related thing. So in testing things, you don't have to call this service, you will mock them. So once you run this recorder, you will mock them, and it will mock automatically when you run this test. And once it's mocked, you will be purely testing on these components, internal MuleSoft components. And once you test, it will give you a response. So I'll show you how it will be. I have this Munit demo API here. This is one of the API which has simple flow, and also let's test. So I click the record test for this flow right in the Munit here, but you have to make sure you are clicking on the flow, not the components. For the entire flow you are testing. So now the text recorder is activated. Now it's waiting for the input data. In this case, I'll go to my Postman. Here I am using a call, just like we are calling our flights API. I am also doing the same flights API call, but to my API, which is designed here. So I said I'm triggering the service basically. So now it's recording. Now I got a response. See, I got a response here, right? Now it's over. The call request and response is over. It recorded every single step happened in my Mule application inside the flow. Now configure test is the button available. Now click on that, and then it will ask for the file name that it wants to create, and then just click next. And here you will see start, request, flow reference here, and the end. Every component will be listed here. As I said, request is what the backend, it's calling the out of mule, right? Out of mule request. This is calling some other service outside of mule application. So here all the transformation loggers are internal to MuleSoft, but request and database are something which are external, which is calling something else. So we want to mock this process. So select this mock this process here, and then click next, and then finish. So once you do that, in the source test resources, sorry, source test m unit, you will create, you will see this small flow which has been generated. This is basically mocking the request in my application. This is external call. I want to mock this one, so I mocked it, and then testing the rest of the flow. So how to run this? So you go here and run munit test. This will again run the test quickly. So right now you see application is like this, but after I run the munit, and once it says done, then you can go to your, there is a mule button here on the left side. If you don't see that, you can always go to Windows, show view, and then others, select munit, and then click on this munit coverage, or click on this munit, and then open. Then it will open this. And what is this here? This is the file name of my test file here, munit demo api.sut, and inside this is the flow name on the background. And there is one more button which is called generate report here. If I click generate report, that shows how much of my application is covered. It says 100% of my application is tested. So if I click here, it shows what are all the flows I have. 2 flows. So if I go back, do you see these green check marks? It means all these components are tested. Understood, or any questions here?
Yes, you understood.
This report you will give to the your leads, like, hey, I have done testing to my application and here is the code coverage. Mostly they won't ask for 100%. You can reach to 70 to 80%, that is recommended. And then you can, once the 70 to 80% code coverage is been achieved, then you are good to check in the code and deploy. So this is a testing phase we just completed. And now let's go back to our training. And here, yeah, in the deployment, before we go and deploy, I want you to give you some idea on what are all the deployment strategies. During deployment, applications are deployed to an embedded Mule runtime in Anypoint Studio locally. So far we've been deploying locally, right, in our local machine using Anypoint Studio. For everything, like, that is only for development phase, but for everything else like testing, production, applications have to be deployed on these 2 places. One is CloudHub is a platform as service. So there are giving some platform of their, MuleSoft is offering a platform for you to put your service on their platform and keep it running, so that people across the internet can access it. The whole purpose is to deploy the service over to the server and then make it running, so that the service is accessible. And MuleSoft hosted runtimes on AWS. So on the background, this CloudHub uses Amazon Web Services. It's called AWS servers on the background. And this is fully managed, multi-tenanted, and globally available, secure and high availability and high available cloud platforms for integration and APIs. So where is CloudHub? As we discussed, we'll go and see where is CloudHub. So now I click on this button and go to Runtime Manager here. In the Runtime Manager, it means where the applications will run and we are managing them. So here I click on the deploy application, right? The button, and here you will see the servers. Right now there are no servers. Flex gateway is something else, and you can set up some alerts for the application. If error comes, you can get an email like that. And when you deploy an application, the target here, it shows CloudHub, right? This is what we were talking here, CloudHub. This is managed by MuleSoft. And other than CloudHub, you also have customer hosted runtime. So sometimes customers uh, will be little sensitive on the data. They don't feel secure to launch their application into the MuleSoft runtime. So in that case, what they will do is they will buy servers, bare metals. They will buy those servers computers and then put them on their local building, on their company's building. And then that is called customer hosted runtime. So where customer is hosting their runtime, they don't want to use the MuleSoft provided CloudHub. So they can be again AWS, they can also use the Amazon Web Services, and they can also use Azure, Microsoft Service, and Pivot Cloud Foundry, their own services, any of these on their servers, and also Google Kubernetes clusters or Kubernetes or any of those. That is one option. And there will be sometimes customer hosted container service for runtime plane, that is called runtime fabric. Runtime fabric is a MuleSoft's runtime engine, but not on the CloudHub. So whatever the technology we are using to deploy applications on the CloudHub, that technology has been pulled out and then provided as a service called runtime fabric. This runtime fabric can be installed again on the customer hosted container. Any questions here?
No, Joe.
Okay. And basically if you choose CloudHub, it's just easy. So you go and you just select CloudHub here and then deploy the application. But if you choose any other deployment methods, you have to do more configuration. So what are the benefits again with the CloudHub? No hardware or to maintain, right? You don't have any servers to maintain. I mean, you means client, whoever is you using this MuleSoft, and continuous software updates. Sometimes there will be updates to these runtimes, and it will be automatic. Provide infrastructure for DNS and load balancing. These are all different concepts which I explain now. It will confuse you, but you can just remember. And built-in elastic scalability for increasing cloud capacity during periods of high demand. Like whenever, right now we are all testing the application with single request. Sometimes when the application is up and running, like Amazon or Google, they're all up and running services we are trying to consume. That's why whenever sometimes a new thing is released and everybody trying to hit that website, the website is down because there are too many requests coming in to that same API, and it's not able to process and respond every request. In that case, there will be a increase in the performance and utilization of the resources, like the memory 501 GB. That's when you assign high memory so that more uh, memory has been consumed and more requests are been processed. So such kind of scenarios happen in few cases, like when new product is released, or during the Thanksgiving weekends or Black Friday deals. So during such times, when the application goes increases the cloud capacity, then it will automatically do the scalability and apply new resources. That is what cloud benefit gives the benefits. And high availability, in the sense when your application is up and running and then you have a new update and you want to deploy that update, during update there will be a restart of the server, but when the restart is happening, the people can't access the service, right? Technically, see, if your iPhone is restarting, can you still use your iPhone? No. So that is called downtime. When you can't use something, then that is a downtime. So to avoid this downtime, MuleSoft has this 99.99% of uptime. It means all the time it's up and running. Even though you deploy a new service, only for few microseconds, it will quickly change the new application, new updates, replace the existing application. So existing application will be up and running differently, completely. And then when you have the new update deployment, then that will also happen separately. And when application of the new update is running successfully, then it will switch to the new update. Till then it will be available. So that switching will take 0.001% of downtime. That is what they are saying here, and which is highly secure, because it has a PCI, high trust, and SSAE 16 certified. These are all technical details. You don't have to worry about it. And when it comes to customer hosted Mule runtime, the second runtime we discussed, it's little easy to install if you want security and requires minimal resources. There are some requirements that you have to meet that customer hosted Mule runtime, and can then run multiple applications. So with that one server, you can run multiple applications. Use a Java service wrapper that controls the JVM from the operating system and starts Mule. So on the background, you can use the Java server service wrapper that will link your machine's memory to the application's performance and make that application get running, and can be managed by runtime manager in MuleSoft hosted Anypoint Platform, runtime manager in custom hosted Anypoint Platform, and Anypoint Platform Pivot Cloud Edition. This can be managed in these three ways. And when it comes to runtime fabric, the third option, a deployment model of the runtime plane, container service that automates orchestration of apps and API gateways. Anypoint platform control plane is still hosted by MuleSoft. So there are two things you have to think about: runtime plane, control plane. So in this case, our runtime plane is our local machine. But once we deploy this application onto the CloudHub, then the runtime plane is CloudHub. But whatever we are controlling in the runtime, right? This UI, the entering the name, selecting the tag, this entire UI is called control plane. So we are controlling what the application has to be done and what the everything. This is all control. This UI is called control plane. This can also be again on the customer side, this service, or on the MuleSoft side. This is called as control plane, and the service where the application runs is called a runtime plane. That is the difference. So they are saying Anypoint platform control plane is still hosted by MuleSoft in the runtime fabric, but the runtime plane is on the customer side and runs on customer hosted infrastructure, and the infrastructure can be any of these. And main characteristics and capabilities are security and reliability through isolation between the applications, redeployments with zero downtime, and automated application failovers through horizontal scaling, run multiple versions of the Mule runtime, Mule supported containers, Mule runtime images. So here is a concept of visualizer. We'll see how visualizer works. Once you have some APIs deployed onto your runtime, then you can see how those APIs are being performed. Here if you see, there is a mobile API, there is a e-commerce API, and they are connecting to customer processing API. So again, these APIs, in the initial parts of MuleSoft training, we have seen there is a API led connectivity, external APIs, processing APIs, and system APIs. And this is what they're saying here. You can visualize them in the visualizer tool called visualizer, and this is called monitoring, and we'll go through that too slowly. And then let's deploy the application onto the CloudHub. So here there are few points that you have to note. You have to know what a CloudHub worker is. A CloudHub worker is a dedicated instance of Mule that runs an app. So whenever we deploy an application, right here on the top, you see there is a worker size. So worker is a dedicated instance of Mule that runs an app. It's like a instance which is only specified for Mule. And then each worker runs in a separate container from every other application in deployed and is deployed and monitored independently. So different applications are all separate, runs in specific worker cloud in a region of the world. So these servers are again in the CloudHub in the different regions. One will be here in East. There are few servers in the East, like one in New York, one in Ohio, one in Dallas. Some servers will be there. Will be some server places. Each region will have a server place. So my company is in Ohio, and I wanna run my service on the server on the CloudHub in Ohio, not somewhere far, because there will be some difference in time. Like whenever you go into this CloudHub, you can also select the region where you want to deploy. We'll see that later, but there are different regions where you can deploy your worker can have different memory capacity and processing power. Applications can be scaled vertically and changing the worker size. Applications can be scaled horizontally by adding multiple workers. So what is horizontal scaling and vertical scaling, right? So if you see here, vertical scaling means there is one server but increased RAM capacity and all. When it comes to horizontal scaling, there are multiple workers with the same configurations. Imagine this first computer here has 1 GB memory of RAM and 1 TB memory of hard disk. So if someone talks about horizontal scaling, it means they want to have same 1 TB of hard disk, 1 GB of RAM as a multiple servers, different machines. When they talk about vertical scaling, they means that they want to increase the capacity of that service from 1 GB of RAM to 5 GB or something like that. They don't want to have new server. Vertical scaling means increasing the capacity, and horizontal means increasing the number of systems. That is a basic difference you have to remember. You keep getting this once you start working. People will be talking about this, and you have to remember. And here it shows many details. RAM and CPU are the mostly places where the increase will be in the vertical scaling, where horizontal scaling means more computers. That's the basic difference. So now let's deploy our application onto the CloudHub finally. So here, deploy the application. Okay. So if you did not complete previous walkthroughs and do that, now we'll return to Exchange, right click on the project and click deploy to CloudHub. So I go back to my project here. Here I right click and then Anypoint Platform, deploy to CloudHub. Click this button. And that will open this.
Can you show again? Can you show again after right click American training
Yeah,
forum?
go to Anypoint Platform. In the Anypoint Platform, you'll see deploy to CloudHub.
Yeah, deploy to CloudHub. Okay.
Now you select Sandbox. Now you will see the same screen which we were seeing earlier.
Yeah.
And click on the deploy button. So here, before you click, just notice the runtime version is 4.4.0. This is the latest Mule version. So tomorrow people will ask you which Mule version have you used in your previous job. So you can say 4.4.0. Mule 4.4.0 is the latest. So that runtime you are getting trained on currently Mule 4. And then the replicas here, you see 1 week or 2 week or 5 week or so each has its own capacity. These are called the replicas or workers. So can someone say there are two options here? One is vcores, other one is replicas. So if I increase replicas, is it a horizontal scaling or vertical scaling?
Horizontal,
Perfect. And
Horizontal.
replicas?
vertical.
Very nice. And then so here in the deployment model you have this rolling update, which means it will, you don't, for the first deployment it doesn't matter. For next deployments of the same application, the zero runtime we spoke about, that will happen here. Rolling update means it will update with zero downtime. And then you have some properties, logging and all. Don't worry about all those, but deploy the application. Once you deploy, so it's packaging on the background on your studio. It will build a jar file and send it over that jar file to the Anypoint platform, to the runtime manager. Now you will see deploying this application to the CloudHub. And as I said, there will be multiple CloudHub servers in different regions. It automatically selected US East 2 because I'm in the eastern region of the United States. So US East 2 will be selected. So it's deploying and you can close the window for now. It's okay. Now I go back to my Anypoint platform and check if it is deploying. So if I go to my runtime manager and change, if you are in design, change to sandbox. If you don't see your application, make sure you are in different region, then change to sandbox. Now it shows it's running and applying the runtime version. Now it's running. What's the update on your side?
It's still taking time.
Okay.
In runtime manager, American flight it started status.
Run, is it running? It has to be like this, green and running.
Training 4 is not running, applying.
Not running or running?
Not running. It's applying still.
Oh, okay. Wait. Give it some time.
Yeah, it's running.
Okay, great. Now, once it's running, you go back to your advanced REST client. Where is that? And create a new request and paste. Okay, where to get this URL, right? So you go back to your, you click on the application, it will land on this dashboard, or once you click this application, manage application, then on the top you see this public endpoint. Copy that. Copy the public endpoint and paste it here.
Showing the request URL can't be reached.
Yeah, we have to make few changes. Wait. So we pasted this, and if you see our request on our local, there is API/flights, right? So you should copy that API/flights and then paste it over in our new call. And hit it again and it says bad request. So request is wrong. So we would like to see what is happening. So in this case, it's not opening. So I go to logs. In the logs, I see some of the requests are here. Just like a console URL has been opened on my local, here also there is a console URL. I got the response. So basically, you have to put the same call as you have been trying on your local. So flight/3 get method, and I got a response. And one first ID, and number two second ID. And how do I know if it is from this server? Because you see in the logs here, you will get the rest. You will see the logs. Success logs we haven't implemented, so that's all right. Are you all able to get the response or no?
Yes, Joe.
No,
I hear yes from Varun and yes from Kanil and Sahiti as well.
no.
No? What is happening?
I'm in the advanced REST client.
Sorry?
Advanced REST client. I'm copying the link.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I need to type API flights.
/API/flight/2 slash whatever it is.
Okay.
I just checked the get flights query parameter, the first one, get flights, destination equal to Cleveland. I got all the flights that are going to Cleveland. And let's finish up this module here today. And where are we? Okay, we got response from all of our systems, so which is good. Now let's try something else here. Now there is already an application which is built. Now let's try to deploy that. Okay, how do we update? Just like we have seen, go to this application, and then in the application click on manage application, or you can directly click on this choose file and upload file. So you can go to your download folders here, and then in the jars select training, which one, training for American Web Service version 2 SP jar. Select that.
Can you once repeat it again?
Yeah, we are doing an update to the existing API. So click on choose file, upload file, and point to your downloaded student resources. That snippet file and all the resources are there, right? There you can go into the jar files and select student, sorry, training American web service version 2 jar file, and click open, and that will automatically deploy the application, the updated application, something which is developed by someone else. We are trying to update now the web service. Do you find that on your local folders, downloaded files, student resources?
Yes, Joe.
Okay, upload it. Sahiti, do you find it?
No. In student file,
Jar folder.
okay.
The version 2 which says v2. Same jar, training for American Web Service v2 SP jar. Did you find it?
I found the version 2, but it's not uploading.
What does it say?
Okay, give me.
Mine is uploaded and also deployed. To test this new web service, you have to just change the ID to destination equal to SFO, and we are adding a query parameter here. Where are you guys?
It says applying Joe after uploading the file.
Okay.
Yeah, it done destination SFO.
Yes. You should get a whole lot of list here, which destination is SFO for all of it.
After uploading the file, do we we went to the logging?
Okay, don't worry. I tested your application. It shows all the destinations. It's working fine.
Yeah, destination.
But I checked for SFO and you are getting LAX. I think you deployed the same jar file again. You have to.
Yeah, in starting we just selected the jar file, and after that we just cancelled it and we selected the v2, the version file you said to upload. That's what the mistake we did. That could be the reason it came LAX.
Yeah, upload the right file and test it again. It should be SFO only. Now we are getting SFO. Okay, perfect. Yeah, see, got it right.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, so we designed, built, deployed, tested all of these steps. We'll go through this process in the next class since we are out of time. This is the last module pending in the getting started with Anypoint platform. After that, after this, we have another course to complete. That will be a 5 days course, but we might take double of that time, but we'll see how it goes. So, any questions so far?
No, Joe.